How y'all been? Low. You helped Muffin celebrate her birthday. You alive?
Girl, I have been Ubering all over Atlanta all weekend, and y'all know I don't drive, but I've been like on the highways and byways, driving downtown, making it do what it do like a fucking pro. So I grew up as a driver this weekend. Muffin had a good time. We made sure she was good and drunk every day. So yeah,
That's what's
Dana,
up.
Dana made sure to get her, make sure she was nice and dressed and makeup done and boot the boot the boot. You know, that's not my thing, but I did make sure she arrived and got to where she needed to on time and was full of liquor. So.
Just
Happy
say
birthday, Muffin.
happy motherfucking birthday, Muffin.
Happy
Happy
People
birthday.
birthday.
people say we ain't, we call us what you want, call it a cult, call it whatever. But this a family around here. And
Yeah.
when a family member needs some shit, we get the motherfucking work.
Yep.
So make sure if you in the audience, you hit up Muffin and tell her happy motherfucking birthday. Cause that's the baddest. 25 years old and ain't never slowing down. Muffin, we love you. Period. Let's
I'm
just get some.
scared to see Muffin off that 1942.
Oh, Muffin was lit, honey.
I know that's right.
Yeah, like with her silk,
I I would expose her close friends because Muffin was showing out.
she was doing a lot. I mean, she was really doing a lot.
but
I
yeah,
felt like how the kid. First of all, I felt like I had a TikTok edit. I felt like she was following me around making a TikTok edit.
she
So,
was.
but besides that, yes, it was great. We went to the aquarium, y'all. It was nice. Took pictures. Y'all went back to the same brunch spot twice because we met a bartender there who she was nice with her drinks. Some little stud, they take care of the girlie. So we went back there because she was making real good drinks. Of course, we went to the games. They 2-0 when all of us
They
went.
are 2-0.
Um, and
When
then
Muffin's in the building, that means somebody in the organization need to make sure Muffin got season tickets and
and
don't miss a
Dana
game.
and Dana are down from New York.
That's true. That's true. I
hmm
support.
So good games to go to. So it was a good weekend.
I love that. So we talking about hoops. Let's start with Atlanta. We've been on Atlanta net. But baby,
All season.
if we talking about trending upwards, we got some upward mobility. Low talk us about the games. What are you seeing from Atlanta? And where you think they can go with this the rest of the season?
Okay, so they play. Who was the first? Oh, Seattle. They played Seattle the other day. I I mean, right before it happened, I said Jewel is bound for a big shot, and goddamn it, if she ain't hit that big shot. Then Tina did what she do, drop that 2 win. I think her motivation was she just didn't want to go overtime. She said, "Grandma needs old, and we're not doing overtime." um, in that first game, I'll say against Seattle, it seemed like everybody just started taking turns when they felt like they needed to. Like Rye had 30 when she took over when she needed to hit three big threes and did what she had to do. Jordan Canada was doing her thing. Alicia, I really think JC though is the catalyst. Like I always say, I'm never shied away from this. Point guards are the most important position on the floor that can make or break you. So just having her there, being able to dish it to Leash and actually running offense, even though sometimes they still get a little stagnant, I ain't gonna lie. It just makes all the difference for them. She plays really good defense. She's quick enough. It was just good. Even sometimes they took her out and Ryan ran point and in spurts and it worked because you still had your point guard to lean on when you needed to put her back in. They looked good. Lorella came in and provided some good minutes. You know who I got to shout out though? Nas, because I don't know how people feel about Nas. I don't see her name a lot. I know some people don't like. She's not a big name, or she might not score a lot of points. But Nas is the type of player you need because Nas is a damn dog, and Nas is a role player. Nas comes in, does exactly what she needs to do. She plays a role. She don't try to do too much. She slip in, do what she gotta do. If she fuck up, I heard her one time like, my bad, I won't do that no more. She does what she needs to do. She's a worker, and that's important. So I shout out to her because she has been a catalyst for them too. Quiet as kept. Nas' presence has been big for them. And
And
then
it,
Connecticut, I'm happy they beat them. They did really good. DB didn't go off. They are. I mean, I get wanting to have Marina on the court because she's a scorer, but taking and I know how y'all might feel about Ty, and I might be a homer, this and that, and Ty is probably my favorite point guard at this moment to come out of South Carolina. I will admit that. But her not being on the court, that AT point guard thing, we're past that. I think that's old, that's dead. It's stagnant, it's slow. I did not like it. It just did not look good for them. But I'm glad because we won. So there's that.
Shay, Yana, Craig, thoughts on Atlanta?
I thought Atlanta
I
was
think
good. I think what really helped them this weekend was their defense. I think first half of the season, they had really good games where their defense was like locked in and it allowed them to, stay close. And then they'd have games where their defense was not so great. But I think with Jordan Canada back and Ryan back and Leash on the perimeter, those are three great perimeter defenders. Like elite perimeter defense. And in the games that they played this weekend, Jewel struggling, even though she's kind of been struggling a lot this season, and DB not having a good game, Marina not having a good game, that wasn't by them not, just having a bad day. Like, that was just grit and tough perimeter defense that I saw from Atlanta this weekend, and I think that's going to help them in this run that they're trying to go on to hopefully make the playoffs. And that's something they can build on because obviously with, I think this weekend was the first time Ryan and Jordan Canada even played together. So they're gonna, the offense is gonna come. They're gonna probably scoring more, but while they work on that continuity, being able to hang their hat on that strong defense that they have is gonna be huge for them.
Craig? Okay, no Craig. Shay, any thoughts?
could you hear me?
Um,
My bad.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, my bad. I agree with Yana, but I feel like they got an uphill battle to climb. The next four out of the next 14 games that they have are only the people that are below them in the rankings. So that means 10 out of 14 are people that are ranked higher than them. So I think that there's some games that they have to absolutely win, but I think it's an uphill battle for them to get to the 8th spot.
Go Tanisha, yay.
I think that they could hold it steady. I think it'll be interesting because with both them and Chicago, you just never really know what you're gonna get. So being that Chicago is the team that they gotta catch, I feel like it is possible or it cannot be. It just could go either way. It's not a team. That's Chicago, not a team that I'm like they just can't catch them. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's not in a shady way. That's just just hoops. No shade for real.
I think if Atlanta goes 7 for 7 in the next 14, they make the playoffs.
I don't do the numbers and shit, so I'm just gonna wish them well, honey.
Cause do they still have any games left with Chicago, or did they win that series? I know
They
I
got
think
one more.
Chicago won this.
They
Chicago
Yeah,
got
won
they
the
one
got one
series.
more.
more with
They got
Chicago.
one more, so that'll probably be a big game for
They could
them.
tie it then, I believe.
Yeah, that'll be a big game for them.
They played the Mercury 3 times out
Hmm.
of the 14.
Oh,
They play
shit.
them twice this week.
I mean, those are winnable. Like,
And they got the Aces and Storm.
So
cause
what you
I'm not 100% sold on Phoenix, honestly. I think they're very up and down. So those are very winnable games.
Phoenix the most fake gangster team I ever seen in my
Yeah, like
motherfucking
let's talk
life,
about
bro.
it because why are they always so upset? It's like they have Phoenix has like this chip on their shoulder, but it's kind of weird because they're a team full of quote unquote superstars or all stars. So why are y'all so mad all the time? Like, is everything okay? Like,
Because they came out looking like shit, and they coach don't know, how to put them in the right place, so they
I
had to
don't
let
know.
DT take the role.
They just be so upset, and I'm like, well, shit, did I miss something? Did somebody say something about their mamas? But like, if it was if the Aces went out there and acted like that, y'all, hell would break loose. But they do a lot.
But in all serious, I think, we try not to push this narrative, but I think that, this DT's, ring push, and you mean that's like an internal, you mean, feat or goal for them.
You know, it's nasty and I don't like it.
To Craig's point, I think Phoenix is trying to recreate what Chicago did in 2021, where on paper the talent is there, but can they like be a 6, 5, 6 seed and go win the title? I will say the addition of Monique Billings does help them a lot. But to Yana or Shay's point, they are just so inconsistent. I don't know what we'll see out of them. So let's get into
Can I
the
just add,
Mercury.
since you brought it up, unfortunately for them, they ran away the one player that allowed them to really go on that magical run. It's 2021. They ran her away. So,
Who,
yeah.
who you tell us about her?
Mercury?
Yeah.
Skylar. Skylar was the X factor up until the
Well,
final
well,
game.
well.
She kind of stunk it up at that final game, but yeah, she was the difference maker that entire run. Skylar was the difference maker.
Okay.
And she gone now. Ran her out the door. Well, shit, locked the door actually.
But they got Ka. You don't think Ka can do that?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean, they
technically
gonna
bad.
try. They run everything through her. They gonna try. They gonna definitely. It's on call. Like they run everything through call. So whatever Phoenix does this season is literally gonna be call or bust.
What you gonna say, Craig?
I was gonna say basically what she said. They run everything through Kai, even though you mean Cloud is on the floor.
Well,
What you mean? I'm confused. You were what do you I don't even think what
he
you
meaning
mean?
like the point guard isn't really playing point guard.
Um,
She just out there
She
to
too.
protect her bestie. Oh,
She too busy defending fours and fives so she can yell at us and say I'm a defender.
She too busy trying to. Never mind. I will say in regards to the Mercury, I am thoroughly, like, I'm so excited about the potential future rivalry between Indiana and Phoenix moving forward. Like, I know DT should be retiring soon, but that's very, like, nasty. I want to, like, it gives, like, we need more people that don't like each other and show it on the court. And I want that, more of that in
because
hoops.
Cece is
Um,
Diana Child.
I,
It's just a foul. She said she fouled Kai. Said it's just a foul.
That's her
yeah,
child.
I
I'm
want it.
good with it till BG get to doing that fake shit with Aaliyah. Like,
Well,
come
we were
on,
gonna get
Mo.
into that. Talk about it, Shay.
Like, it's one play where BG literally arm bars Aaliyah in the throat and they boxing out and you pushing at her. Like, y'all just bumping. Fuck is you got all this energy for Aaliyah Boston though? Like, you not bumping with nobody that's trying to wreck you for real.
Y'all know what I think it is about Aaliyah this year? I think it's because Aaliyah's stronger now and she's not getting pushed around. Like last year, she was doing well, but I think you still could see that she needed to get stronger. Like she'd make her buckets here and there, but I think now, like because they don't have that edge over her anymore to push her around, it really pisses them off. Like BG only really get buck with people when they be cooking her or when she starts getting frustrated because they're moving her out the way and she's not able to do what she can typically do versus, other players. Like when she was playing Camilla, she was cooking Camilla, so she was smiling. She was having a grand old time. Last year, when she was playing Aaliyah, she was cooking Aaliyah, smiling, having a blast. This year, the tables have turned. She's not having a blast.
I will say, I think with BG though, I think BG is a player that does not like contact, like any form of contact, and there BG is kind of like when Serena Williams used to play, or like when there's this dominant player and you already lost the battle because they already bigger and better than you, right? But now Aaliyah's at the place where it's like, I'm smaller than you, but I'm strong and I'm a skilled hooper. And so BG, we know she takes those like big on big matchups seriously. Like when her and Liz used to go against each other, she would go off. When her and Silver go against each other, it was typically a good matchup. She likes going against somebody her size, but it's one of those things where she thinks she can bully somebody like Aaliyah because of her aura and demeanor and just her general disposition. But on the court, praise the Lord, praise and worship sister ain't praise and worship sister. She's trying to put them hips on you and you don't like that contact. And so now you trying to play bully and it just doesn't give like, it's just weird to me because you didn't give France that energy. You didn't give hell, you didn't even give the Sky that energy when you was going up to win a damn championship. So why are you doing that to a team that's ranked lower than you and a player that's 2 centimeters shorter than you? Like, calm it down, okay? Or 4 centimeters. But I digress. Where do we think this Phoenix will finish this season?
I think that they're going to be fighting for the 6th seed with Indiana, actually. And yeah, I just see them fighting because Indiana already got the sweep on them, so they have they have that matchup. So if their records become tied, it's really going to be a matter of flip flopping. And Indiana, in a way, has the easier schedule to finish out the season because they started the season with that gauntlet. So now they're kind of at that stretch of the season where they're playing, I don't want to say easy teams because no team is easy in the league, but they have more games versus the teams at the bottom half versus teams at the top half. So, versus Phoenix. So it could be very interesting.
I'm gonna hang on to Phoenix still being a semifinalist though. I think if I'm wrong, tell me, but I think Phoenix could end up in the semifinals.
I can see that. I don't think that's a stretch either.
Yeah, they're definitely built to go on the road and beat a team in their house. And all you got to do in that first round is get one. Because if you get one, the game's coming. The winner go home game is coming back to your house. So they're definitely built to do that. So semifinals is definitely not out of reach for them.
Okay. Moving on up and down the pipeline, we talked about teams at the middle of the pack. Let's talk about the Fever. They're right in that contention. I think Phoenix is 6, Indiana 7, Chicago's 8. So how do we feel about the Fever at this point? And their prospects.
I didn't get to watch them this weekend, so I'm not sure.
They look like a team that practiced for 2 weeks. Like they used their 2 weeks really well. I think Lexi Hull has been a really nice bright spot. She's playing more, which I think a lot of people have been asking for anyways because she does defend really well. And now that she's knocking down her shots, I don't know if we ever see her shoot it like that again, but if they can even get half of that for the rest of the season every game, that's huge for them. Like, I see her taking Katie Lou Samuelson's spot, hopefully sooner rather than later. Um, but Indiana they look good to come out the gate from Olympic break.
Other thoughts, Craig, Shay?
I mean, no, they look good. They've been hooping. Like I think it was Sade that might have tweeted it about Aaliyah's growth as like the playmaker once she's in the short role. I think that's helped them a lot. That's helped her and Caitlyn a lot. I think Caitlyn's got better. Like they've all improved as a group. You can tell they was in the gym. I still think Kelsey should have got the fuck up out of there, but do what you will.
Um, I think that with the stretch coming up, the role players are going to be vital on all 12 teams, but especially for the Fever. All these games are, you mean they're kind of back to back, or you mean the span of 2 or 3 days. So I think this next stretch will really tell me everything I need to know.
I'm excited. I think Kelsey Mitchell has been a godsend this season for them. Um, I think one of the bigger critiques for Kelsey Mitchell's career thus far has been like somewhat of the same critiques we've given Jewel and Enrique, like just not being consistent. only being able to get your shot when you're the one creating it and not being able to play in the offense. And I can genuinely say Kelsey has played really well in the offense this year, or at least like within the last 10 games. And I think for me, that's been their biggest like X factor in a sense. Because when Kelsey's not on, you really only have to dial in on Alyssa, Aaliyah, and CC. But when Kelsey's on, her speed, her ability to get her shot off, her ability to rise and fire, and honestly, she's been locked in on defense as well, which has made them look really well. So I don't know if she stays with them in the off season, but they better make sure they're grateful for what she's doing for them this season.
See,
Because if not for her, they lose both of their most recent games.
see, I also think Melissa has been a huge X factor for them.
Yeah.
She looks like she's finally in a place where she's accepting her spot, accepting her role. That'd be the hardest part. And she finally looked like she's accepting it, like she rebounding. She just really doing what she need to do, and I'm happy for her. I'm proud of her.
Speaking of Indiana, I have a trade proposal.
Oh,
I'd like to I'd like for them to send over Demirs Dantas,
two.
and we'll send over to Chicago
Okay.
with Camilla to give her a fellow Brazilian, a fellow mentor as well.
Or
Somebody that
who you trading
4.
them?
you can send Izzy Harrison, send Izzy, or you can send Izzy and Bree,
Shit.
or let's do Izzy and Michaela.
I, I, that ain't. I mean, I
We want
think.
to.
Ooh, ooh. Indiana would probably have to give up something more than that, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, I hope that. Yeah, I want Dantas and Camilla together. I like Dantas minutes lately.
Mm, okay. Somebody send it, put it in somebody's ears, and we'll see what we can do. Okay. The last team in this little cluster of four, that's right in the middle of the pack is Chicago. Chicago Sky. Now I know there are several accounts that are anonymously listening to the spaces, so please don't flip out with whatever you hear. But gang, how we feel about Chicago at this point in the season?
Y'all know I'm not on the little bandwagon, the Camilla bandwagon as far as their gameplay. But I will say, when they make more of a a concerted effort to like get her the ball and to involve her instead of her just trotting up and down the court, it makes her lock in more, which I think she needs because we know our girl can be a little spacey. Two, it just works. It just works. They look like I watched for a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, before she got in foul trouble in the Mercury game. Her and Kennedy, man, the way Kennedy can get her the ball. I've seen another play, Mo Jeff got her the ball really well. When they like kind of hone in on her and say, okay, let's make sure we get you some touches. Let's make sure that we involve you in this as opposed to just trotting and just kind of playing defense and then kind of going for the rebounds. I don't know, man. It makes such a big difference for them. And I feel like she's just a really, really, really good passer. And I feel like when they involve her intentionally, it also takes some of that weight off of Angel when she can kind of breathe and do what she does, right? Like if we got a game where, because at the end of y'all, I've been saying this for a year now, Angel's superpower is rebounding. So we could take some of that pressure off of her to have to try to score and try to get these points and try to get these points and make also an effort to get Camilla the ball so Angel can focus on being that dog, getting those rebounds, getting those putbacks. Because to me, those are the best Angel points, rebound, putback. I think they could just rework it, just make it a little better in just making more of an effort to get Camilla the ball. And it's not saying don't get it to Angel, because that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying in you getting it to her, still make more of an effort to get it to Camilla as well, because they looked good when they were doing that. Not gonna.
I agree, Lo. I feel like a lot of the times they sit in the same screen at the same place. You mean her and Angel? You mean they'll come up and set? You mean a double screen and they'll be at the top of the key, and they need to. I'd rather see them space out, so one high, one low, or one on one
Mm-hmm.
side, one on the other. But I feel like they're too clogged, and it's easy
Yep.
to defend both of them at the
Yep.
same time
Yep.
when
Yep.
they're both in the paint.
And no matter how you put it, Camilla has a nice little short jump shot. We saw Angel hit some of those too. So I just think they can work it a little better to make it. Because so now it just seems like, yeah, both of us are big, both of us are pretty good rebounders. We're just gonna go in here and just do whatever. It doesn't seem like it's thought out, planned out.
They don't correct each other as well. I would like to have seen Elizabeth Williams in this rotation as well, alongside of them, just to be that corrector, that eraser for them.
The one that's hurt.
Yeah, I said I would have
Oh,
liked
oh, oh,
this
oh. Okay,
season
okay,
to
okay.
see them all three of them. You mean in a tandem
Yeah.
with Elizabeth Harrison as well.
To me, Chicago looks like a team that traded away more than half of their 3-point shooting. I was
Yana
watching
said, I
that
got the
game.
numbers for you
I was
bitches.
watching these games, and I was like, and it's not like the guards don't shoot it confidently because they are shooting it confidently. The shit just not going in. And I was just like, yeah, what was the game plan here? Like, what was the game plan? Because it's like it's already crowded in the paint with the way that they play Angel and Camilla, like y'all were talking about, and now it's even more crowded because teams are daring them to shoot. Like they're literally like, shoot that shit. I don't care. Like, go ahead. All we gotta do is try to box out Angel and Camilla, because if we can do that, we'll get the ball back.
I'm blaming it on the practice gym. The
Oh
wall's
my
so close to
god.
the 3 point line that when they try to practice them, their vision is obscured.
Bright side though, I think because of the terrible shooting, Angel can get her 2020 game. Honestly, she had like 14 offensive rebounds in the last game. And so if the trend continues, the rebounds are going to be there. Getting 2020 honestly ain't going to be no problem because there's going to be a plethora of rebounds to go after. She just got to get the buckets. Bright
Yeah,
side.
it seems like everybody in Chicago is getting their points in the exact same spots. Like every single player.
I can see that.
Huh?
I said I can see what you mean by that.
Like Lindsay Allen, mid range. Kennedy, mid range. Angel trying to get to the mid range. Angel and Camilla, low post. Like Michaela and Uwerde, once a game. You know? Shay got her end up. Go ahead, Shay.
Oh no, I didn't want to interrupt you. I just agree with what I was going to say is I think that's where I want more from. I wish Diamond was who we needed her to be because she's the one player who could theoretically kind of be a three-level scorer for them. And I think that's what Chicago was hoping for, maybe. And yeah, it hasn't worked out that way. But go ahead.
But I think to that point, and if you're gonna say I'm hating, but this is when that conversation that we had, and people don't get sensitive, that's where that conversation is potent. When you, like Lo says, when you know what your role is and when you're okay with not being the person that you thought you were, then you can actually focus on being good at what you're actually good at. And for me, looking at them and looking at the way they play, specifically the guards, like everybody's confident on the surface, but nobody's confident enough to be confident in recognizing where they struggle. Because basically the team is a team full of guards that all play the same way, do the same stuff, and get their rocks off in the same way. And nobody's gonna step up and say, "Well, maybe let me take on the defender lock-in role. Maybe let me take on the facilitating role." Instead of like, just be good at one thing. And I think everybody's trying to be good at everything, and that's why honestly I think Lindsay Allen has been their best guard in terms of for what the team needs. Like, of course, Kennedy is the X factor, but for what the team needs, Lindsay Allen is the only one that's like, baby, if you need me to shoot, I'm gonna take the shots confidently. If you need me to pass, I can definitely get the ball where it needs to go. But she just doesn't have the talent to match the level that they need. And so, to Yana's point about them trading away Marina, I don't know, and I tweeted this, I don't know if they are actually serious about a playoff push because when you make that trade, you got to get something a little bit more than Mariah Jefferson and Rachel Banham. Like, ask for Ty. Ask for shit. Say, give me the rights to Queen Egg, like something. But what they did just doesn't make sense. Like, neither one of those players, Bantam or Mojef, have played it consistently good minutes in the WNBA in years. So it just doesn't kind of add up because it doesn't really help them now. And yes, their goal might not be to win now, but you at least got to set yourself up a little bit better than what you did. And I don't think they did a good job at that.
I will say with the loss of Marina, I wasn't expecting Kennedy to show flashes as a pass first, being out of position. But she has been playing like the 2-3. But these past two or past game that she played, well, she played the LA game too. The past two games, she's shown me a little bit more on the at least trying to get people the looks when you mean early.
But I think she likes passing to Camilla. Like, I think she likes passing to somebody that if she's in a bad spot, I can get it up to her. And honestly, her and Lindsay Allen are the only two players on the team that know how to get the ball to her consistently. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think honestly it helps her and it makes her more dimensional as a player on the court when she does do that. But if they had more space, it would just be nice. Like, in my opinion, if they have better guards, they could try some 4 out, 1 in type stuff. And yeah, and free up some space for everybody to get to the hoop.
I have a question. Do you think Odyssey would open up the left side of the field? I
Oh
mean, left
yes.
side of the court for him?
I don't know about how them energies and attitudes would work, but yes. I mean, if you talking about scoring, you might as well go reach out to Henny. But I digress. Um,
I got one more question. One
okay,
more.
shit.
My last one. Michaela Onwuede, yes, yay or nay? You liking the starting lineup, the starting push, or go back to the bench?
Um, I'm gonna let everybody else answer. Yana, Shayla.
I think she's a starter for this team, but a role player for the league.
That is such a nice way to say that.
Not for real. Very demure.
Thank you, thank you.
She puts together cute outfits when they coming through the tunnel.
um, yeah, I would love to see her join the Nigerian national team. That's how I feel. Moving on. We good? Okay, moving on. So we at the top of the standings, we got New York, followed by Connecticut, followed by Minnesota, followed by Seattle, followed by Vegas. Give me your thoughts at the top of the standings. We know we had a New York versus Vegas matchup. That New York won handily. So we can chat about that as well.
New York is obviously the team to beat right now. Even without Laney, they look the most complete and they look like a team that kind of knows what they want and they're not really like they're just constantly building on getting better, but they're not really trying to figure things out. I think a lot of the other teams in the league are still trying to figure shit out, and New York to me is just kind of strengthening the foundation that they already have. um so I think they look good, but we all know that uh playoff time is a different beast. Winning time is a different beast. So the question is, can they, get over the hump? The biggest question is, can JJ perform when it's time to get over the hump? Because JJ has always done good things during the regular season. But when it's winning time, she might show up maybe like 1 or 2 games, but it's always that final game where shit looks interesting. Um, Minnesota, I'm interested to see how they finish out their season. Them and Vegas have played each other twice to wrap up their series this week. So I'm really interested to see how that goes. Because I think that's gonna be big for who finishes top 3 versus top 4. Um, So I think those two games are going to be like really huge for both teams. Because if Vegas wins both, they would jump Minnesota in the standings. And if Minnesota wins both, it obviously puts a bigger gap between them and Vegas for that fourth seed. So it could be an interesting one this week.
Other thoughts?
New York did a good job getting better in the margins. Like Phoebich, that girl could hoop. Like they just been able to get better in their supporting cast area where other teams have not. And Sabrina has taken a leap. Like them Timberland boots, they went from a size 9 to a 12 this year. I ain't going, ain't nobody going to slight her shit. She open. But yeah, I mean, they look good. But like Yana say, when it's big dog time, is y'all still on the porch or y'all outside? I'm not a Minnesota believer per se, but I do think I really love Courtney Williams' fit there. I hope she stays there forever. Connecticut gives me a headache. I don't want to watch a game where Marina Mabry takes the most shots on the team in this economy. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Craig or Love?
I didn't watch either of them play this week. Sorry. Weekend, whatever. I didn't watch it. I don't know.
I think New York, they'll finish out. Number one. They look solid. They look well. I think that when Lainey Hamilton comes back, that'll probably be the only time that we see a wrinkle. From now to playoffs with the Sun. I feel like adding Marina is going to take a little time. They may, we may see a wrinkle early, but I feel like as the finish of the season comes, that's when we'll see their strongest, the strongest performances. And then Minnesota, I think Cheryl is, well poised coach. I think that Nafisa, she still needs a big alongside of her, but that's the only thing I worry about in playoffs. But as far as the standings, I think that they could finish, top four for sure.
Okay, so question for the group. Based on the addition of Marina and then we've seen Minnesota and New York, do we think that each of those teams are locks top three? Yes or why or why not?
New York, yes. Minnesota, yeah. There's there to me it's just a different yes. It's a different type of yes. Like I feel like New York is just kind of on all cylinders doing what they got to do. They got the personnel, whatever. Uh, Minnesota is interesting to me because it's like how sometimes we say, "Oh, this team is nasty. It's a team full of role players." You know how we say that? It's like Minnesota is kind of that, but it works. Like they're high IQ, they work. It just works. So it's for a different reason, but I can see Minnesota being top three. I could see yeah. I say yeah. It's just a difference.
Giannis?
New York obviously is going to finish number one unless something like catastrophic happens. I have no idea about Minnesota and Connecticut because I really think up until the end of the season, if Vegas does what they're supposed to do and these two teams do what they're supposed to do, they could all very well be fighting for those top three spots. Um, and so I don't know because I think Minnesota and Connecticut might be tied right now in their series. And I know Vegas is one up on Connecticut, so they still have two games to go with each other as well. So like it honestly is I know everybody gonna be fighting to get away from the fourth seed. I know that much.
Yeah, I think Connecticut slips.
Yeah, if anybody's, I don't know.
Okay, the team that none of y'all have mentioned is the Seattle Rain at this moment because the storm hasn't stormed. Talk about those girls.
Not the Seattle
They're
Mist.
just too, like, honestly, I think you tweeted it, but their success is too reliant on Jules' consistency for me to really, like, believe in them at the moment. Um, when Jewel isn't scoring, they just can't get enough points. And like, I mean, NECA will have a good game, Skylar will have a good game, but if Jewel can't, like, cause Jewel, there's no middle ground with Jewel. It's like, you get 30 points in a game or you get 5. There rarely is a middle ground where you can get at least 10 to 12. And so that concerns me about them. Like they have the pieces to me. They have the pieces to be a contender, but having to rely on Jules so much is a concern.
I respect it.
That's so funny because, like, damn, I'm old enough to remember when people was pushing for her to have her own, you know what I mean?
Right.
Ooh,
Yep.
get into it.
Not to be
Yep.
shady, but just
Get into
like,
it.
we all were here for those conversations, and it's like, now it's, your time, your shit, and it's like, we trying to see, one game you hooping, next game, we don't know what to expect. It's an interesting dynamic.
To
I
build on
remember
that, let's get into it. Let's build on it.
I was one of the people. I
Me
was like,
too.
I'm
Me
ready to see
three.
Jewel handle her own, like have her own team. She a hooper. She can go. Cause at the time, she was also being like overshadowed by the players on her team. So I was like, I'd love to see Jewel, lead a team. Like, cause I feel like she can go. And I don't know, maybe she tired from last year. Hangover. Last year she was hooping, this year, a little hangover.
but but see, to me, Jewel is the difference between like a the what do we say, like a franchise player and just an all-star player. And
Mhm.
potential
Mm.
says franchise player,
Mhm.
but put into practice, it says all-star player needs to be surrounded by or needs to have a franchise player beside her. And I think that's what Seattle got caught in because everybody was like, what do they do? But that roster was constructed with her in mind. Like
Yep.
literally in the off season, she was talking with management and saying, if I'm gonna stay, you get me some help. Get me some help. And they got her help. Ezzy's a young player, has been really good this year. NECA's, a journeyman in the W, one of the most efficient players, still a dominant big. Scholar's a PG and doing a great job at that. And we've seen a lot of growth in Jordan Horston. And there is, I mean, Sammy Whitcomb has won titles in the W. They've got stuff on the team. But to me, it seems like everybody else is kind of doing their job game in and game out. But Jules not carrying her, load. And I don't know how you deal with that as a franchise when you've basically built an entire season around the needs of your air quotes franchise player. See, uh, where do we think Seattle finishes?
It they they should finish. I don't top. I don't know, man. It's just like you said. It just depends on Jewel.
Follow up question: does Indiana jump Seattle?
They could.
Ooh.
I think they absolutely can.
Seattle has a series, so that's some wiggle room for them. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's doable. Cause I think that bunch, they're probably like what? Most of those teams are about 4 or 5 games away from each other. Cause Indiana has like 15 or 14 losses, and I think Seattle just hit their 10th. So it's definitely possible.
My God, my God, today. Okay, okay, so that leaves the bottom of the barrel, um, to discuss. Who's that? That's your Dallas Wings, your Washington Mystics, and your LA Sparks. Thoughts, concerns, questions?
No concerns for me. Go Mystics, bitch. Y'all doing what y'all supposed to do. Tank that hoe.
I'm weak.
Okay.
I want to see.
Yes, Yana. Or
Uh,
Craig, whoever that was.
I think that was Craig, but I mean, Dallas, God bless. They got everybody back. I think Maddie's supposed to be good to go this week as well. So I'm excited to see her back because she was having a really good season to start. Um, but something still look off with them. Like it just, I don't know. It just don't work. I don't know what it is, but it just don't work. Uh,
It's too white.
Elaborate.
I feel like that when they got rid of Odyssey Sims and Monique Billings, you had the Flower Child, SZA, you had your the Glorilla. Like I mean, you had some bump it. Like it was a little. Now it's a little calm. Like it ain't no no blackness in the Natasha getting married. Like ain't nobody worried. They lovey dovey
Damn,
over
now
there.
the bitch can't get married. Y'all strict.
I
Damn.
mean, Rika done got
They about
married.
to
Like
they
they
about to file a
lovebirds. Like
lawsuit
they
against
got
your
rid of
ass. You better chill.
the huh? No, I mean I don't mean like that. I just mean it like they just love me. I'm in Dallas myself. We feeling the love. We need
Craig, you
somebody to
married
turn this
too?
bitch head.
Shit.
I'm about to do shit.
Pumping the question. Other thoughts? Low, Yana, Shay.
They should have did whatever they had to do and just would have had to been investigated to keep Odyssey child. I don't know. I'll take that investigation because that's dumb. That's silly. It's silly, and because it's I'm not saying it's right. I mean not right because it ain't no basketball. It's a business. I know like whatever you holding on to Lou for. I don't know, but I don't know. I would have had to do something. She would have had to go, and that's no shade to Lou, but that's just how much they needed Odyssey to me. I don't know, like, and I only say Lou because what's my girl name? The tall girl. I just feel like her upside is just
Doris.
so it's just so huge, and that you could really get something back for that if, in coming years or whatever. Lou would have had to go, respectfully.
Jalen Brown too.
Oh, I forgot about her. Somebody here.
She played in the last game, but she black, Craig. That would go against your
She calm too. She looked like she in love with me.
What?
Not like physically, but I'm just saying like con amigo, like me too. She in love as well.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. The Sparks had a lot of sparks before the All-Star break, and then the spark plug unsparked after. Um, Thoughts about the Sparks?
injuries and uh yeah, just not a lot of availability. I think Ari being out hurts. I don't think that really helps. Uh, Talbot was gone for a little bit. I think she's back now, but she was gone to start as well. De'Erica's kind of gone on a little slide. Um, she's not putting up the numbers that she was putting up at the first half. Could be fatigue, could be, emotionally drained. I think that is huge as well because she was kind of like she is a focal point for their offense. So if she's not putting up, the 18, 19 points that she was the first half of the season, then it becomes tougher. But Rakia looks good. I'm happy for Rakia. I'm annoyed at Kurt for not realizing the great player that he had in her and sitting her for so long. But I'm happy that she's able to shine. And I hope she keeps shining, the rest of the season.
Yeah, we all made note of something we saw at the end of the last game, which was Zaya looking slightly emotional, whenever she hugged Asia. And I think a few people tweeted, that the Sparks have moved a lot of players through the organization, this year, but it seems like she hasn't been able to break into the rotation. Do you have any thoughts about that interaction or just her progression in year two with the Sparks.
Yeah.
I think she's very similar to I would say KB in LA, and players that they just need a fresh start. Like, let them go somewhere where you know that they can either play, show what they can do. If they can't do, then take them out and their time is done. But I don't think she fits what Kurt wants, which is fine because not every player is going to fit every coach's, what they want to do. Uh, but there are teams that she probably does fit their style more. So yeah, and like we talk about that when it comes to the draft, when it comes to being drafted, it's all about, to me, it's always been about where you get drafted versus when you get drafted, because that could be the biggest difference maker. Like Lexi Hull, for example, she was not very great to start, but she stayed at it. She had an organization that trusted her, but still allowed her to do the little things that she could do while she was on the team. And now you kind of see her kind of having a breakthrough moment. So like, I, I wouldn't mind seeing her get traded. Same with KB, same with LA, same with players like that. Just because sometimes it's just really about fit, and she don't fit. She don't fit what Kurt want, and it's probably super frustrating and whatever, but she just don't fit.
I don't think
I
Kurt
think
is
it
a
also
young person coach. Like he's
True.
not my pick for young rebuilding team with new pieces.
He's not, because for a while I didn't even think Dejanay fit his system, but clearly Dejanay was fine. Like, I don't think he really likes young players too much. So I definitely agree with you on that. I don't think he like young players.
I believe he's stubborn, and you know what I mean in a sense. But to the point of Zaya, I think that she just hasn't found her staple on the game. Like she does, that like when we think of her game, we don't know what she brings to the role, and so therefore you mean how do you establish a role with no you mean consistency at any part of the game? You know what I mean that's how I look at it as far as you mean coaching.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. So we've gone through 12 teams, and of course, we're not going to keep y'all here all night long. So, as we always do, if there's any people in the audience that want to come up and chat with us for a little bit, talk about hoops, talk about life, talk about whatever respectfully, the floor is now open to do so.
Well, I got something to say because
Oh,
I'm
well.
not gonna lie. I've been on and off Twitter a lot this weekend. Like, I haven't really been super present. I haven't been on a lot. But what I think is interesting is, and I want to make it very clear that what the Vegas and De'Erica situation, one thing about me, if I'm ignorant on the situation and I don't know the legalities and I don't know what the hell is going on, I'm gonna save it because I don't goddamn know. Great. I'm don't want, cool on that, whatever. What's interesting to me is we all know that Twitter is such a nasty, mean, and vile place. So now when I get on Twitter this weekend, I'm just getting on every so often and I see all of this, everybody acting holier than thou all of a sudden. It's a little weird because I'm just like, what's going on? Like, why are we all acting this way? Like, and on top of that, Vegas can have their issues without us standing up for no. I'm not ever standing up for no big corporation, not big corporation, but no shit like that. Cause whatever. Now the women on the team, when it come to Asia Wilson, yes, but other than that, don't care. But just this holier than thou attitude of, oh my gosh, I can't because I am just this perfect woman and I am this perfect man and I just can't believe. Child, everybody got skeletons in their closet. It's life. I just can't believe that people are on Twitter acting like this. And I know it's sports and it's just because of, a certain team and a certain this, but I'm just like a little taken aback and a little like, like why are we doing this? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not, you ain't seen me stay standing up. I ain't standing up for Becky. I ain't standing up for the damn team because I don't want to say I don't care, but I don't. You know what I mean? But it's just weird to see all of these people that are so nasty 9 times out of 10 on this app now all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, y'all are just so terrible and this, that, and the third. Like, what? Like, it's just been really interesting coming on and off and seeing as of late. I'll say that.
Well, no comment, but I agree.
I think. Go ahead, Dolores.
No. I was saying I agree. I ain't have shit else to say.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, to me, like, the context of booing somebody for suing your coach is corny to me, because, like, Becky is rich with lawyers. She will be fine. She do not need you to dive on the sword for her. She will be okay. Y'all do not have to defend her or the organization. You can still cheer for Asia and Stud Butt and all of them and have a great time without getting in the mix of a lawsuit. To Lowe's point, I don't understand people trying to virtue signal, because as Devereaux came on and shared with y'all earlier today, it's a whole lot of skeletons in teams' closets. It's just people who don't have the resources or the wherewithal sometimes to take it to where De'Erica has taken it. But Devereaux said that. I saw Liberty fans trying to act like my organization would never. We know Laisha got something to say about that organization. They just haven't said anything about it. We know Skylar has an issue with Phoenix. So
But
let's
even
not.
in Shay, even in Devereaux's tweet, she said I was about to take legal action against a team. What other team was she on besides the one? Am I tripping?
Exactly. Well, she
Okay.
was in. No, she was with Minnesota.
And
She was
then
with
Phoenix.
Minnesota and Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So I don't know which one. I didn't want to
Right.
say,
Yeah.
but like, I just don't. I think the bullshit was corny, but I just don't get the response to it too is also corny. Like, it's corn on both sides is my point.
See, I
But
don't, and I
But if
think
you a fan, like, I just don't get inserting yourself in that conversation about somebody being sued over discrimination. Like,
that,
like
but I
that
don't.
shit weird to me.
I don't think the booing thing for you, like, for to say it's corny. That's sports. You know what I mean? Like, so it's hard because I saw that kind of conversation too, and I'm like, oh, it might not be in good faith, sure, but I guess that's why I'm like, I didn't really say anything. I don't know if I was missing context. Like I admitted, I was very on and off, but they were booing at the game. Like I just it might they because she got sued they born well shit that's sports. I don't you know what I mean like I, that's what
I
people do.
I
I
think the part that I think we have to just really be real about is that people only have an issue with this because it's a women's sports. Like, what's the boy in NBA team whose sister died? He couldn't go to her funeral. He
Isaiah
played for the
Thomas.
I mean, the man played his heart out for an organization in the midst of family tragedy. That organization left that man for dead.
well,
He
shit.
comes on and he still don't have a job and still begging for a job. Like, sports are shitty. Like, it's capitalism unfolded in the lives of black people. So we are having all these like nuanced conversations, but a lot of them are just projections, and that's what's frustrating to me. And that's why I'm trying to, like, I honestly should just shut the fuck up because I just think people view themselves on this app, they create this image of themselves that is not reality. And I think that is extremely frustrating because the way that everything is just so like hyper liberal, like everything is just so like, let's live in a bubble and like everyone gets free healthcare and everyone gets like all this shit, y'all. It's not realistic. Like, it's just not. And we're at a situation where everyone keeps acting like punishment did not take place. And this is not me defending Vegas, but we are literally not discussing the lawsuit anymore. This is now her third course of action. First with the WNBA, second with the EEOC, and now federally. Okay? So punishment did take place to the WNBA. She was not happy with that punishment. So, this is just me thinking about this logically. If I'm a fan of an organization, I don't go to no Aces games outside of when Asia brings me or invites me. If I'm a fan of an organization and I feel like my organization's been punished for something, but the player that has torched my team a few times this year, comes back home, and now we know that she's pursuing more course of action. I don't know no fans in no sport that are nice. I don't know no fans in no sport that are kiss asses, and I don't know no fans in no sport that are perfect. So when I say all that, I say this: would it be nice if they like didn't boot for her? Yes, but expecting fans to cheer is weird. Um, Given the context of fandom, because especially the people that are trying to enter this conversation who have no leg to stand on, because at the end of the day, like, all of this sums up around a he said she said, based off he say she say, or she say, based on what we know. We don't know the facts until it's litigated, so everyone's going to have an opinion in some way, shape, or form. And honestly, most of the opinions should be and are going to be swayed towards Erica, because she is the victim of something. We don't know how severe or how little she is the victim of something. We can acknowledge that we want to support her and still recognize that in the culture of sports, there is no like wrap De'Erica in a bubble with prayer. There's just not. We can do that and send her that love, in other forms. But once you hit the court, fuck a lawsuit, fuck who died in your family. Like, once you hit the court, everybody trying to get to the money. And I thought, like, to me, that's evident. Like, we can talk about life off the court. But as soon as we get on the court, trying to make it some social justice or like something weird, to me just doesn't make sense, because there's so many situations through sports where we see that those things are not acknowledged. But because it's a women's sports, everybody's trying to make it just so sensitive. And, well, if you cheer against her, you're a terrible person, or if you do this, you're a terrible person. It's like, first of all, you don't even understand the WNBA enough to even know how much shit, to Shay's point, has gone on. But also, you're like, you have no leg to stand on when we look at the way you interact on this app. And Dolores Michael, I know I talk hella shit and woot woot woot. So I'm not even finna try to act like I'm better than somebody and say don't do or do, because it like, you just don't. Like, we talk so much shit, everybody does, that it's just so weird to try to like pinpoint this situation and make those fans or make certain people the worst people on earth because they booed during a basketball game. That's how I feel about it. But, I agree with Shay. I think, yes, morality wise, I agree. But to me, it's just weird to try to make this situation some symbol of virtue for everybody in play. Cause, like, how do you judge that?
You don't. I mean, I don't. To be clear, I think people should boo all the time. I think if more people would boo, we'd have a better country. And if I could boo De'Erica for dribbling like her hands hurt or wearing a jump man mesh suit on a red carpet, I would do it all day, every day. I just think that y'all don't have to use your last breath to defend
I
Becky in
agree.
the front office.
I agree there.
That part to me is weird. It's getting weird on both sides. That is the part that I don't understand. But
And if
I
I'm being honest, I feel like people are only doing that because people are being um what's the word I'm looking for?
Picking. They are picking and nitpicking.
Yes, I think it's coming more from that than anything. Like, you doing the most, like, so now I'm finna be like this and the third. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, but I be blocking a lot of people, and I see exactly what I want to see. I personally haven't seen anybody just go out of their way, just because I block the hell out of people. I haven't personally seen anybody go out of their way to say Becky isn't wrong and Becky did this and did this, as
They out
opposed
there.
to,
They out there for
okay,
sure.
but
But
child,
they're
I
out
get the
there. I just,
blocking,
you
and
can we cannot, like, you can pick and choose what you see or interact with on this app, and you
mm-hmm.
can also pick and choose what you give voice to. So, like, these athletes hear a lot of stuff, see a lot of stuff, and they ignore a lot of stuff. But in this situation, because everybody is so hypersensitive to it, and they should be, I think we are amplifying voices that we never amplified before,
Okay.
or we're giving credence to people's thoughts on the situation that we've never given credence before, to create this image or narrative of nastiness towards Yerka. And I think that's where the situation is getting weird, because if, like, I try to very much stay firm in how I feel about situations, and I feel like I've been very clear from jump. Vegas was wrong. Now, the length of how that penalty should be penalized is between what happens when this court finishes. The WNBA came up with a punishment. De'Erica didn't agree. She's well within her legal right to do so. But in doing that, once the conversation comes to the TL, you got WNBA journalists trying to insert themselves and make statements about who's right and wrong. You got people trying to virtue signal and specifically call out Asia and Kelsey for a situation that they don't really have anything to do with. So I think those factors are adding into this very much pick a side type of situation
Uh-huh.
when it really doesn't have to be that. It could simply be like, let's hope De'Erica gets the result that she would like or gets the closure that she would like, while also like leave the players the fuck alone and keep it between the two people it should be kept between. But since we on Twitter and people can't do that, then you have this like back and forth and this need to defend virtues in each direction.
Oh,
So I
for sure. And I obviously we got to be for real here. It's if this were another team, if this were the Mystics, it just wouldn't be this. Like, it's because it's the Aces
correct.
and they're fucking polarizing. And you have this polarizing situation, and people have been looking for a way to tear down the Aces for 2 fucking
Yeah.
years. And now
Mhm.
it's, this is my opportunity. So I'm going to bang on and I'm going to say, well, why isn't Asia saying shit? And why didn't Kelsey do this? And why didn't somebody's mama go dive out on the road when De'Erica wanted to say something about it? And it's just like, I don't know what the fuck you want people to do. It's a lawsuit. They're going to go to court, not jail, as some people, because y'all don't fucking read. Court, baby, court. So I hope she get what she. I just, yeah, I don't know, y'all. It's y'all
Our,
don't know these
our
people,
good
man.
sisters here. Thank you for joining us. The floor is yours. Chat about whatever. We know you always give us the facts. So the floor is yours, baby.
Who, me?
Yes, girl. Come on,
Oh, hey y'all, how y'all been?
okay. We
Um,
alive.
Good.
okay, listen. I hope Joe come on so we can all go to bed because this DNC
No,
is
baby,
getting a
this is
little
a
long.
black revival in the South, baby. The service ain't gonna end till 2 o'clock in the morning, baby.
Did you see Hillary's curls?
They eat,
That
and I'm
little
looking at
swoop?
them right now.
That's so it's can suit season, y'all.
Hello.
But I'm actually here to kind of talk about a point that's bothering me
Ooh,
severely.
oh,
Severely. And it's not just because I'm a financial advisor, it's because I have always hoped, and I think we do a good job at making sure that the W is equitable and women's basketball is equitable. But we really got to talk about these season tickets,
oh,
this
okay.
renewal. Now, the Liberty haven't released their season ticket price. I have no idea how much it's going to be, but all I heard is that it's going to be a significant increase. Understandably, not so. The team is winning. The arena's packed out. It's a space to bring in more revenue for BSC and the Barclays Center as a whole. But that's just from my point of view from the Liberty. But I think of like the Chicago Sky, where people are telling me their courtside seats went from 9,000 to 25,000. That's just not sustainable. It's not a good business model. It's not fair to loyal fans. And we're all saying, hey, we're going to get priced out. We already know we're going to be sitting in the nosebleeds in Indiana. And where does that leave the common fan? Where does that leave folks that have been supporting the W since the beginning, that don't have the affordability to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars, where people should have the opportunity to continue to see games, see them in person, take the more cost-effective route of being season ticket holders? And I'm not saying every city is as drastic. I'm not saying that at all. I'm also saying don't send people, in their season ticket gifts, Kirkland popcorn. Some people, it is to each their own. But when you have such significant price jumps, how do we as fans, how do we as those that are investing push back on corporations to be like, y'all are bugging? Because in the Chicago Sky's case, we don't know in the next, 13 or so games if they'll even make it to the playoffs. So the price increase, what is that based off of? The arena's packed. It's not growing in size. I understand that a practice facility is being built. But should that be on the financial backs of fans? Because in Kansas City, taxpayers pushed back on that. When the Chiefs tried to say, hey, let's try and build this and that and da 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 da, they were like, we're not paying for this. We understand we won, but we're not paying for this. So what happens in cities where, this is where we're going to get there, black, brown, queer, fat, trans folks, and everybody that's in marginalized communities have always been supporters of the league, but can no longer afford to be a part of it?
I,
Oh, I don't
if
think they ever gave a fuck about those people.
yeah,
It was just a matter of time. They been trying to. All
I
right, bye,
think
y'all.
if the conversation is what's the course of action, I think there's a few ways we can look at it, and maybe one of them is reaching out. You know, there are some players that are interested in hearing fan experience and in communicating. So I think it would be cool to see some sort of like black W queer fans, marginalized W queer fans to maybe create something and, post it for our players and tag them, and address those concerns because I think ultimately, to your point, we are going to be priced out of the W. The W is being gentrified and it's intentional. And I think there are two conversations. Like, we are the same people that have been advocating for our favorite players to get raises and to make more money and to equal the MMB or to be equitable in relation to the MMBA. But in doing so, the W only sees value in that happening through the white dollar and through the very same method that the men took. And so when you do that, it pushes black fans to the back and pushes black queer fans to the back and brings forth the very people that they've been bringing forth in order to make Caitlyn who Caitlyn is and make Sabrina who Sabrina is. Because how do you have a player who refuses to do her all-star game three-point contest, but is jumping for joy to do the MNBA's three-point contest? Why? Because she sees more value in the fandom and in the marketability and in the connection to the MNBA fan base, which is a fan base that is predicated upon white people's financial decision making. And so in the W, we've got a team coming to the Bay, and we already know the severe issues with racial, economic disparities in that area. We've got a team coming to Toronto when a good bit of WNBA players still have legal issues that might prevent them from going to Toronto. And we know that with flight issues, that it's going to be really hard for certain fans to even be able to travel two games, or even if there's an all-star game there, that won't be a great opportunity for current W fans to go there. So we know that with this growth, there's not been a intentional approach to ensuring that foundational WNBA fans are still there. Because if we don't have the money, fuck it is what it is. So I think if we're talking about a course of action, I think it would start with reaching out to our favorite players. I think Bree Turner is a player that seems to want to communicate with the fans and hear thoughts. So I think, for those of you that are connected to her, maybe reaching out to her, since she is on the WNBA Players Association, maybe asking them to discuss that in the next CBA. I don't know. But we definitely about to only be talking about it by watching on TV. Cause yeah, it's about to get tough.
Woo.
I asked one last question before I went. How
Go ahead.
many
Yeah.
of
What is
us were actually like able to like, and everybody that's in the room, like y'all can put up 100. How many of us have been able to comfortably attend more than 3 games this season?
comfortably attend more than three games?
Comfortably attend. Like I purchased a game a ticket. Went to another city. I went to go see it in my own city. If we're not season ticket holders, like everybody, like put up 100 if you've been able to go to more than 3 games this season.
That we like paid for.
Paid for, yeah, paid for or gifted, either or.
Oh,
Because even if you were gifted the tickets, you still had to get there.
but I live in Atlanta, so
Okay, well, yeah, that's a blessing. Can we say the same for like 7 games?
Based on the room. I think about 10%, 10 to
Yeah.
20%.
12 games.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
And I'll
6.
do a last call. I'll do two last things. Season ticket holders. Any season ticket
One.
holders?
I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
We have some
6,
decent
7,
numbers, folks.
8. Yeah,
And
about 10 to 20.
and I'll ask the last one: who was able to attend All Star, even if they didn't go to the game or anything? Who was able to attend All Star?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay.
So we're there, and we never doubted that.
Correct.
Um, we'll always be willing to put the money forth and such, but y'all know I literally work in finance, and I'll be very open about the numbers. Our first courtside season ticket for the Liberty when we moved to the Barclays was $5,000 a seat. $750 the next year. We're pushing 8, and we're locked into a 2-year contract that was no more than a 5% increase for courtside. So I suspect that I haven't done the full math because it depends on if you're more inner court or outer. I'm a bit more outer. I'm across from the Liberty bench. But I suspect that will be between 8 and 10,000, which means it's $20,000 that you got to pay by next May. That's just courtside. The other seats, they were saying there's no contract for them, so those seats can go up to whatever. And I just can't see how long term this will be continuously equitable. And as we said, maybe that's not the goal. Maybe that's not the intention, which is saddening. But it's a community. It's a space. We go to All Star and we go to the draft, and there's community, there's friends, and there's fellowship. And I can imagine culturally a lot of things will be taken away from the W as more of that will happen. I don't want to look like how I look at NBA games, and the majority of the people on the court are black, but the majority of the fans are that are sent courtside or in the seats are white.
Did you watch the last Indiana Seattle game?
I did not. I have to watch it.
Okay. So if you just look at any highlight from that game.
Oh no, but I've watched the Indiana games. Listen,
Okay.
it's
That is the future climate of the WNBA. Queer white women with money that lean more Republican. Um White couples
yeah, a lot of white couples, a lot of
with
kids.
rich and a lot of kids and those upper middle class white families. That is the audience that the WNBA is specifically leaning on, and the way they're going to get them is through these black men who have podcasts and ESPN shows who keep making these posts about marketability. So just know that yes, the players on the court are going to be of color, and the players that are critiquing and criticizing the black players on the court are going to be black men. So welcome to the W. Welcome to no longer being able to participate in fandom. Welcome to the resistance. Amen.
Oh Lord.
Kay, you're up next. I'm gonna invite you as a speaker. This says white as hell. So with that being said, we are all black as hell on this stage. Please don't come here crazy on today. Thank you.
Thank y'all. God bless.
Of course.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
Yes, Kay. What's she?
So I'm someone from Toronto, and I'm a
Okay.
younger person in Toronto, and like I'm probably the happiest person in the city about the league coming to like Toronto.
I love
Like
that.
I'm big, and I'm like I love basketball, and I love watching women's basketball, right? But seeing how other teams are like just bumping up the like season ticket holders, it has me scared for just regular prices for like a league game in Toronto. Because I'm someone who's kind of young, and I don't have like the big ass funds to like
We don't
go to
either.
like a lot of games, but it's like I'm technically the like demographic they should be marketing to, someone who's young, someone who's liked basketball, who wants to watch basketball. But it's like, am I going to be able to go and see a game? And it just kind of sucks that I have to sit here and think about it because, like, me and my friend, we were like, hey, we kind of want to become season ticket holders, da 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 da. But it's like, will we have the funds to become season ticket holders or even go to a game and have not nosebleed seats? And that sucks.
Baby, you're about to get your first lesson in communism versus capitalism versus socialism. Cause you're about to be radicalized by the end of next year. So welcome. I don't know. I will say yeah, I think markets are important. And so the economics of what happens in Canada are probably super important to the pricing for those games. So I would just say, it might take some time before you're like priced out. But who knows? It's also going to matter who's drafted there, and what the expansion draft looks like, as well, because smaller market teams aren't going to be the same price as like a New York or in LA or Chicago. So if Toronto's becomes a more intimate market team, you might have a better shot at more affordable prices. But give it some time. I think to start, they're going to want to build a fan base before they just like try to price you out. So I think you should be good the first few years at least.
I want to add, like, they are right now with they're having like people send in like what they want the names to be, like, you know, those like little like contest quizzes thingies
Yep.
to do. Like they said they did the same thing with the Raptors 30 years ago, and that's how we got the names because a lot of kids wanted like something dinosaur. Because when the MNBA came to Toronto, they marketed towards kids, and it worked kind of well. Because I say like Toronto, like the Raptors are a really big team, like just in the country because we're the only team in the country, but also like internationally. Like when we had the championship run, I remember seeing on the news people coming from like Japan to watch them like come out of just the hotel to not even get into the games, just to come out of the hotel at the during the finals run. So it's kind of just like I'm sitting here and I'm like, you can get so many people who just like basketball and or just like women's sports because we're a really big sports city. I can say that, and it's just like I don't want to become radicalized because I already half am. Like I'm not someone who has like a full time job yet, but it's like I was sitting here thinking, do I go into journalism to just talk about like how women's rights is so like women's sports is so like unequally like talked about because like you see it and you like hate it, and I'm just sitting there going, this is so messed up. But it just like sucks, and I wish it was different, but you know, capitalism and life sucks. But also the sports in Toronto are most of them are run by this like corporation MLSC, and the WNBA team is not. So I think we're gonna get better like prices because prices for games are atrocious. But you know, I don't know.
Well, yeah, we gonna pray on it. You keep us updated. Thank you for joining the stage. Yeah, keep us updated with what's happening on the boots on the ground in Toronto. Because that definitely should be a fun, organization to follow. We're gonna open it up for a few more, fans. So if you got anything to say, anything to get off your chest, now is the time, to do so.
Can I say something before I go hop in the
Yes, of
shower?
course.
I'm about to jump back off, but I'd love to hold a like even if it's just like for not even season ticket holders, but for everybody. I had the idea of like doing a Zoom call or like a I don't know, some sort of call to kind of talk about financial planning, you know, if there's anybody that wants to talk about budgeting and saving and being able to comfortably afford season ticket holders, I'm thinking of doing something between the end of the season and before playoffs begin. So if anybody's down or would like to participate or thinks it's a good idea, I'll do it. I'm here. Use me as a vessel, please, because if I gotta send everybody a budget to be able to afford their season tickets or we can
That's
come
so
up with a
dope,
savings
though.
plan, please
You
let me know
have
how
my
I
like,
can
I
be
want
of
to be
service.
there. I want to be there. I want to just like listen to what you have to say because it's just like I want to be able to go to games, and it's just like I know a lot of people want to be able to go to games, but it's like, do we have the money?
I'll do it with the committee. Listen,
Okay, bet, bet,
if
bet. So
if y'all want me to do it with y'all, I'll do. I swear to
this
God.
is what we'll do. We'll reach out because I think that definitely aligns with our goals and just the things that we kind of want to promote as an organization. So we have a meeting coming up this weekend. So we'll plan it out and definitely reach out because I think this is something that will be extremely beneficial, moving forward.
Thank
in
you.
the W. So just give us, time to get our ducks in a row. But once we meet, we'll reach out, and make
Appreciate
that
y'all.
happen for sure. Cause I mean, that's really dope. And period. Like, put it
I'll
right at the
raffle
top of
off
your
some
chat.
tickets. I have hella tickets to the last Liberty game. I will raffle off hella tickets as
Hold up,
well.
when is the? I don't like the Liberty, but I like New York, so I get to show up.
The last game is exactly 1 month away. I will literally raffle tickets off and like
Oh
folks can
shit!
come. I have my own tickets, like my courtside, but I also have 2 rows. But like I will talk to the Liberty and be like, hey, we can get some more tickets just to make sure that like more people can attend. I think that would be fun and be a good close to the season before we go into playoffs. So
I do too.
if we all want to get a little, comfortable and talk about it, I'm down. I'm so serious too. And if anybody just needs any financial planning, I'm here. But particularly season ticket holders, I want us to be able to afford this shit. This shit means something to me, so I'm
I love.
down.
Hey man, he's in the room. You see how you get. Thank you so much.
Somebody,
If
Guys.
I send you
Hey
$50,
y'all.
can you turn it into 1,000?
Depends on the asset category, but we can see. I don't know
All
how
right,
long it'll
that's the
take.
type of plan that I need. Okay.
she, oh,
They
somebody
want
in the,
some damn forex
I'll let
plans.
y'all. I'll let y'all go, but y'all can hit me. I'm down. I'm down to do something. We got a month until the end of the season, so hit me. I'm around.
somebody,
In other news, Serena got a secret ad, bitches. That's how you flip a bitch. And my good sister, for you Love Island watchers, baby, my good sis, Cordell got his cheeses and Serena got her sacred, whatever you call it. Period. Okay. Well, it
somebody in
looks
the comments asked, do we think that Aaliyah could go down as the best big from South Carolina? No, maybe second best.
no.
No.
Don't say
Um,
that. See, y'all about to piss me off.
they was genuinely asking.
No, they weren't.
I
Don't
don't
piss
know.
me off.
Well then, don't give him no energy. Just answer the question and move on. No,
All right, you
she could
right.
be second best, but nah. Asia, I mean, especially with Asia being from the 803, this that,
Olympic
nah.
MVP,
Yeah, nah.
two-time MVP, two-time Defense Player of the Year, two-time champion, two-time gold medalist, FIBA MVP, 5, 6, 7-time All-Star. Don't play with me. And she's only 28. Go get you some business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey y'all. How
Hello,
y'all?
Brandon.
Uh,
You off the train?
Yeah.
Was it
Yes.
underground?
That laugh.
It was.
Was it underground?
It was.
Brandon,
Oh
no, it wasn't.
God. Some of it was up on the ground. I don't
that
like
shit on
that,
the
but it
Underground
was fun
Railroad.
though.
All right, Portia.
Let me
You
see.
so you in Vegas now,
No, I'm in Boston.
bitch?
Yes, I'm going to the game tomorrow. Y'all, it's sold out. If you're in Boston, I would love to meet you all. The game is sold out. I think they moving to Boston. I really think they getting Connecticut up out the sun. Wait, the sun up out of
getting
Connecticut.
getting Connecticut up out the sun. It's too white. It's too
Yes,
white
I
up in
really
there.
think they're gonna move to Boston. It ain't nothing to do. I really think that they're gonna try to pull these people to Boston. Already, as soon as I pull up, it's a whole heck of a lot more to do than just being cramped up at that Mohegan Sun casino. So bring them to Boston. I understand that Boston is not an ideal city to represent or for the people of the W to represent, but
Why not?
yeah,
Racism.
exactly. But that's everywhere. That's America.
Another question says, do we think Sky fans regret all the Mabry hate? No.
No.
No, not at all. They don't. I mean, they trying to run out Kennedy.
Yeah.
Shit.
hmm
So
Kennedy and
I
Dana and
mean,
Izzy
so
and
no.
Yeah.
Camilla.
No. It's just the pick of the week, truly. Uh,
Shit, they want Spoon to go too. Tyon.
Uh,
they said they were not booing at the game. They only booed when D touched the ball. I still don't think it's that deep.
Me either.
I mean,
Cause
the whole country of didn't we
let
see Joel Embiid get
Raquana go to the
booed in the
Indiana.
Olympics?
Y'all think this guy? Oh no.
The whole country of France booed Joel Embiid. Please.
They really did. That shit was hilarious though. Not gonna lie.
and he was asked the whole Olympics until the last two games. Okay. Any other questions in the
I
comments,
said
love?
Caitlin Clark first all WNBA. Let's go.
I
Um,
Now I will say this. I think she is having a first team All WNBA season, but wouldn't she be the first rookie outside of Candace to do that?
I
Or am I
don't
tripping?
know. I don't know. Yes, a Yana question.
Shit, I don't even know, to be honest.
I think so. I mean, because I remember there was talk about Asia should have
First
been first,
team.
one of the on the All WNBA
Was
team,
Stewie All
and her
WNBA her rookie
Child.
year?
That seems like such a long
Um,
time
It
ago.
does, child.
let me
They've
see.
been in the league
Yeah,
for
I
a
don't see.
long
Oh,
time
more
now.
questions.
Almost
Um,
10. In 2 years, Stewie will have 10 years in the league.
oh,
Jesus.
child.
And I remember watching her in college.
she was
Is it
all
me?
so
Am
Stewie
I
was all
old?
second. Stewie was all she was second team All WNBA.
But
All
isn't All
WNBA, it's
WNBA
positionless,
positionless
right?
now?
It is. They moved it to positionless. And it's only 5. So
Ooh, Sabrina and Caitlin gonna be deciding. Only one of them will make it. Who y'all got?
I
Sabrina.
I
think
don't
they'll give
care.
it to Sabrina.
I don't care.
Sabrina, to
Well, that
me,
too.
is
The
gonna
white
be
woman
on it
going on
because
top. Neither do me.
she already got like 3, or how many months has there been for WNBA? 2 or 3.
May,
She
June,
already
July.
got 2 conference players of the month so far. So
Somebody, I love that girl. Whoever's playing her. Um, yeah. So then, okay. Question for the room. All WNBA first team. Who are your locks and who are the rest?
Asia Wilson. That is
Asia
it.
and Sabrina.
Asia, Fee,
Ka,
Oh yeah,
Sabrina, and
Ka.
Ka are locks to me. Um, and
AT,
then that,
Stewie.
yeah, that last spot is gonna be a fight.
Okay.
Because I do think that if Caitlyn continues in the trajectory that she's been going, it's very doable because I don't think that there's a 5th person in the league that's been like consistently like the way Fee, Asia, Ka, and Sabrina have been hooping this season. I don't think anybody's been that consistent. Like those 4 have been consistent this season. Everybody else has been, they've had their good moments, they've had a lot of bad moments, and they've been in the middle sometimes. So,
The Fever would have to finish top 5 for me to do
well,
that.
shit, the way everybody
They,
else playing is doable.
yeah, they're
But then where
close.
am I putting Kelsey Mitchell? Because I just feel like we're giving a lot to Caitlyn and not enough to
The others.
the people making the bread.
Kelsey could be on the team too. Shit, throw everybody on the team.
Down, please.
Do we think Angel makes second team? Then you look at
No,
Right.
B.
Right
I,
This is a
enough.
good question.
I don't, I don't know because I think it's easier for Caitlyn to make a team because let's just be honest, the guards are not.
Guard play isn't
Yeah, it's
consistent or
not
good.
great, but I wouldn't. I mean, De'Erica's slumping right now, but I would still put Asia, Fee, Stewie, At, JJ, what's it, De'Erica, um, ahead of her, and that's 6 bigs right there.
Got another question.
Okay.
Um, do we all think that Kennedy and Ka have the same temperament, and why do you think
Woo!
Ken gets so much heat and Ka doesn't?
Oh,
Kage
they
Heat.
do. A lot of
Ooh,
people have the
wee.
same
That's a good
temperament as
question.
Kennedy.
So
Exactly.
does Diana
One of them is
Taurasi.
praised for our eyes.
DT,
DT.
DT the
Ka,
Caitlyn,
leader. DT the
K-
ringleader.
Marina,
D.
Caitlin
Caitlyn
Clark,
and Marina.
Marina, Caitlin, Skylar,
AT.
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 Yeah,
Yeah. Kennedy
Enrique.
get pushed back and she don't kiss no ass.
correct.
Yeah.
Neither is DT, but
And she'll tell
and
you why she
Kennedy
did it, or
Kennedy quote
she'll
unquote hasn't
she
won anything.
Well,
Hell, a lot of
Shit,
them
has
correct.
won
anybody we listed won besides the people we
outside of
said?
Ka and
Diana,
DT.
Ka.
I think that's what makes Kai and Kennedy similar. When you make it out of the where you
But
mean all the doubters and
I
stuff,
don't think
and
Carr and
D,
Kennedy are similar, and I'm gonna say this because I think Carr has always done her stuff under like under protection. And
What you
what do
mean?
I mean by that is that when Kai first got in the league, she didn't like that wasn't her energy. You know what I'm saying? Like she kind of had to grow into her confidence and grow into feeling like she could present herself the way she does now. Kennedy, Kennedy's has been natural. Like since college through life, she's always been this player. So it's not like she didn't flip a switch and say I'm a dog. She just presented herself as that, and people wanted to like, no, you got to go through the steps. You got to be a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta do this. You gotta be humble. You gotta like these are your vets. Your vets gotta do this. They gotta haze you and whoop de whoop de whoop. And like I think her dog is just different because it's not fake and it's not predicated upon who's in the room.
Yep.
I think a lot of other people's dogs is very much big dog, little dog, and I'm going. If a big enough dog tell me to shut up, I'ma shut up. And Kenny's like, no, you really got to be a big dog to make me shut up, and that's the difference.
Nah, that's a good point because having Kennedy ride on her shit regardless. Ain't nobody have her back in Atlanta or LA, and she still was like, "I'm 10 toes about my shit." It's easier to do that when you like, "Oh shit, well I got DT behind me and Candace and all these other people behind me."
And that's not disrespect to Carr, but I think like sometimes when we have these conversations, people try to treat it like Kennedy owes somebody something
And don't.
and don't. And it's weird because it's like and the whole conversation we had on TL the other day. Well, Kennedy shouldn't, come on the TL and defend herself. Well, defending herself resulted in her getting a job offer to Unrivaled. That's part number one. But also, just months ago, everybody applauded Angel for defending herself. Everybody applauded Carl once they realized, like, oh, she got up out the paint because the organization wasn't doing anything for her. Like, you just want people to do it with white people's approval. Like, when white people say, oh, like, I get why you're defending yourself, or, oh, when they cry, or like, oh, when they do something to warrant a certain community, feel like the tears are valid, or feeling like the temper is valid, then it's okay. Kenny do her shit where it don't matter who validates her experience. That's her experience. That's how I feel, and this is my response. But other people are looking for somebody they respect to validate them, and then that makes the fans think that that was a good argument. And to me, that's bullshit. Like, either you're going to stand 10 toes down behind what that black woman felt for herself and say, I understand it, or you going to pussyfoot and wait for somebody to tell you it was right for her to do it. And that's bullshit to me.
When Kennedy didn't defend herself, y'all was on the timeline talking like she killed some damn body.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's a whole just, it is what it is. Because, yeah, Kennedy, Angel got on and said, when I cry, like, I can't even be vulnerable. Kennedy doesn't present herself as that same or in that same way, but the sentiments are still the same. Like, this girl got on the court, was talking shit. I responded. But because she's white and y'all look at her a certain type of way, my response is more important than what she said or what she did. And then on this situation, I know I'm a dog. Y'all know I'm a dog. But because I don't present myself in a certain type of way, even though my energy is the exact same energy as DT, Marina, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I don't get a job to a league that you presented as the best 30 players. Well, no, you should like wait your turn. That's not how you get the job. It's their league. But you wouldn't be saying that shit about nobody else. Oh yeah,
Can we just stop leaking the likes and people bedrooms and all in their
Yeah,
business? I think
I
that's
think it's getting a little weird. Like the fact, and I just try to chalk it up to like I'm old and I'm getting into auntie stage now. But like and I like everybody has their own thoughts and opinions, and I'm not saying people should be homophobic, should be this, should be that. But I am saying that sometimes that's not my damn business.
correct.
I take people for where they at. I like you as a basketball player. I'm not gonna stand everybody. I leave it, leave shit where it's at. Y'all, I think people go a little crazy with these parasocial relationships. So because you like how they hoop, you think that you got to agree with everything. That's not realistic. Leave it where it's at. But DMing people about what they reposted and trying to call them out. That it's just too far. Like even the thing with Hannah Hidalgo, I felt like was a lot. Um, I'm not saying she's right, but why are you doing all of that? She's young. She goes to Christian school. 95% of y'all grandmas and granddads in the South think the same way.
Ooh, get into that.
Y'all, 99% of the people that y'all go to church with think the same way. Because God is God that. They think the same thing. So can we just please, like, like I said, I don't agree with that. And I'm okay with I'm okay. But once again, getting on this app and acting holier than thou again, it's just really weird because I'm sure that y'all have some things that aren't great. I'm sure y'all got skeletons in y'all closet as well, but y'all behind these fake pages so nobody knows who y'all are. And I just want y'all to leave people alone, like, because y'all, I don't want to say y'all ruin people's lives. That's a little dramatic, but that's a lot. Like, they already got stuff to worry about, stuff on their plates, and a lot of y'all probably college students too. Like, that shit rough. Y'all know that's hard. Like, leave people alone. Like,
Go vote.
But
Go vote.
also, my biggest thing,
Get out the follower account and go vote.
if
You could connect
if you don't
followers. Go.
hold the people in your life to the same standard that you uphold these celebrities and these
bingo.
people to that standard, you gotta shut the fuck up. Because what type of sense does it make to care more about the political or social or any type of belief that someone has that does not even know your fucking name and won't be influenced by shit that you gotta say on social media outside of you trying to get 17 other people to disagree with them. And like even with the Sedona situation, first of all, I don't know that woman. I don't care. Somebody got on TikTok and gave a story about her. If the story is true and it goes to court and she's done a crime, she will be prosecuted for the time. But for y'all to get on this app and oh well, this is our social justice. Well, we're just gonna make sure that Sedona is punished by the university. Baby, go make sure that the person that killed your cousin Pookie and them goes to jail for that. Or go make sure that your cousin Pookie and them that's gang banging down the street goes to jail for the crime and y'all stop wearing them goddamn free him shirts, okay?
Nah, but for
And
real,
Not free
even,
Boogie
how
even,
y'all
Kitty. Free Boogie
how,
even I
Kitty.
feel like
how
the
you
cadence stuff with the girl at UConn,
Weird.
that was
Weird.
very strange. That other young little girl got on TikTok and told her, and when I say little girl, I'm really not dissing them, but they are kids. Told her little girl story, and we screenshots, whatever y'all, that is little kid shit. Why are we on Twitter dragging this girl through hell over some little kid shit? We are grown. You know what I mean? Like, why are we doing that? Like these, and also stop holding people just because people are really good at basketball. That doesn't mean they're good people. That doesn't mean they
Hello.
don't fuck up. That doesn't mean that they don't make mistakes. That doesn't mean that they don't put their pants on one leg at a time. Stop holding these people to such high standards and putting them on the throne because they're good at basketball. Because on the grand scheme of things, we love basketball, so it means a lot to us, right? We love basketball. They're so good at basketball. But in the grand scheme of things, how does the world turning? Them being able to hoop don't mean a motherfucking thing. That shit don't hold no weight. They are people. They put their shoes on one at a time. They put their pants on one at a time. So stop holding these people at a high regard. Then you won't be upset when you see them doing something. You just charge
But
for the game.
the
Just charge
weird
for the
thing
game.
about it is how are you holding athletes to a higher standard than you're holding the coach that coaches them? Like we had a whole debacle on this app last year about feeling like, well, they're just the players' coach. They don't need to have politics that matter in relation to the athletes they coach. How? So you can say that that doesn't matter, but you mad about a player that doesn't understand gender, race, and all that shit right now? That's weird.
Yeah, I just like I said, I don't agree, disagree, and I hate to keep saying I don't care, but because it's not that I don't, to an extent, like I don't care. Like I don't hold them to her guard. They're not on the platform. Just let these girls, and they're young. Child, some of the shit I said back in the day. Let people go through who they grow. Let people grow. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like we don't have to. Now some shit is egregious, right? And It is what it is. But the search,
A lot of it is out of spite, though. That's what I'm saying. It be the people that can't come out of the closet to their own people that be trying to get on other people's case, like and things of that sort.
or
They can't be
or
themselves.
just people from
They got to hide behind fake
right, or
profiles.
from another program, so we can say, oh, look what they got going on in that program, and it's so silly.
Weird.
Like,
Weird.
I just, and I feel like at the end of the day, what you're gonna do is, you do love basketball. You're gonna push these athletes away, and they're gonna stop engaging altogether. They won't post anything, and they're gonna be upset. So
But I
it's
think
just give and take.
that's the that's the climate of social media fame and like what's content creating, like rather than honing in on the skill or the craft of the sport that you play or the job that you do, people realize that other people have an obsession with watching other people do other shit. And so by doing so, we have these like weird parasocial relationships because we present our lives to people, but those people don't understand that I still have a right to privacy within the presentation of my life. So like, I hate to get there, but I mean, there's a relationship that people are speculating about between a WNBA player and an MNBA player. People feel like they have a right to know if they're dating, how long they've been dating, and every time they see them. And it's like, people on social media like, well, they're hiding. Well, if they go out on a date in public, like in public, and someone takes a picture of them and posts it, they're not hiding. They're just not telling you what they're doing. And they don't have to. But because you're used to going on Instagram and seeing a couple and saying, oh, couple goals, this is my favorite content couple. Or you go on YouTube and see these two people that are married and they tell you every time they wash their ass, brush their teeth, and log into their work from home job, you think that every single couple on the planet owes you that that, and they don't. And
Log
to me,
into they work from
that's
home job.
like that's what's so weird to me is like I think we have to realize that like, and I think all of this kind of circles back to COVID and people not like going outside, touching grass, having conversations with people, is that now social media allows people to have these relationships that are fictitious and that literally don't exist. So you can vicariously live through other people's relationships and project feelings and emotions. Like I saw somebody post a picture of a WNBA player and say, I've never seen them look so disassociated before. It was a random picture of the player during the game that they were losing, and somebody just snapped the picture. How the fuck did you associate an emotion to them for some random fucking picture in the game they were losing? First of all, the players lost plenty of games already. Second of all, you weren't there. You're not inside their brain. How the fuck did you prescribe a whole emotion to them based on who you think that person is? That is weird as fuck.
Yeah,
It's fan fiction.
I just think,
Like you just made that up and now you're gonna take it to a group chat and y'all gonna have a whole 17-minute conversation about a made up emotion from one picture with no context.
and I guess it bothers me as a teacher, a former teacher, because I know a lot of these people are young, and it's just not. I don't want to say not healthy, but I just don't want it to be like that, like
As
crashing out
someone
behind computer screens and stuff. Like I want different for the babies.
as someone who is like definitely young, it is definitely not healthy. You can say it. I'm someone their age who's telling them, no, it's not healthy what you're doing. They're seeing these people as characters from whatever TV show. They log in to watch them at 7 p.m. and by 8:30 the game is done. And it's just a character where you damn near want to create fan fiction about. And people are doing that. And it's just because like Dolores, you mentioned this, because of COVID, where everyone was kind of posting about their lives a little bit and you kind of got an insight to what everyone was doing, like the alone together bullshit. Everyone thinks we're together all the time, but it's like, no, these people have a right to, they love to claim right to privacy, but don't practice it themselves.
Yeah,
But also like releasing public information of people and acting like a gotcha moment. It's public. The fuck? Like,
They think they're characters and what they don't think what they're doing is wrong. And I just want one player to like sue someone. Because then maybe someone will like realize like, yo, like leave these people alone. What they show you is what they show you. Are you digging up on all your friends' lives like that? No. So then just like leave these people who you do not know, you have 98,000 degrees of separation from, alone. What they show you is what they show you.
Yeah, it's what was that Real Housewives? It's getting weird. It's getting very weird. But nah, for real. Lo, you done took us on a tangent. Any
I'm
final
so
thoughts?
sorry, but I just want it's just not healthy, and you know I care about the babies, and I want them to do better.
I don't think
It
they want
needs to
better
be
for
speaked
themselves,
on. It
sister.
needs to be speaked
Okay,
on, but they don't want
um,
better.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, well I can hope. I'm used. The kids never want better. You gotta hope for them. Okay.
Lo, your song should be "I Believe the Children Are the Future."
No,
I
but
feel
I
like
don't.
that's
Not these kids. No.
She
what
said not these
what.
Damn,
kids.
y'all said fuck Nippy.
She said not these.
I was a teacher for 5 years, honey. Babies can't
What's the
read.
next verse though? Teach them and they'll lead the way.
You can't teach nobody who can't read by the time
Oh
they
Lord.
13.
No, the thing is, they can read. It's just they can't
No,
think
they
deeply.
can
No, no,
no,
no, no,
baby.
no,
She
no, no,
mean
no,
they
no.
can't read for real.
They
No,
can't
I
read.
know, I know.
Nah,
They
they not literate now. You got grown ass adults who can't read.
Yeah, these kids
they
can't
Using
even
or
words
the
read.
ones that can't
incorrectly.
or the ones that can read, they can't think critically. And I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm the only person my age who can think critically, and that's really sad.
Yeah,
But
and they
it's like
can't comprehend.
they can't think, and their brains are rotted. And if you took these people's phones away, and I'm kind of one of them, I can't lie, if you took their phones away and they didn't have access to the people they think they have access to, they would crash out. You would be seeing people walking butt ass naked in the street.
Now
What's
wait,
wrong with that? Hold up, sorry.
Please.
wait. Speaking of
Yes, Brandy.
nothing, I'm just admiring this big window in my room.
Oh God.
I hope you
Okay,
not,
just call
but
lust for her.
I hope you not, but
Darkness
fucking
cannot
window.
drive out darkness. Y'all just got to remember that.
Oh Lord.
Good night. It's time to go.
I can show you some darkness.
It's time to go. That is just
Sell some
what's that? The
toothpicks.
sea of forgetfulness. That's what that shit is right there.
But you won't forget this.
But good night, y'all. Thank y'all for chatting it up with us. I know it's a lot of shit going on. Make sure you register to vote, girls. It's the time to register is coming to an end. Make sure that you are registered and locked in for this upcoming election. The DNC is going on this weekend. Clearly, they are in revival. The service is still going on. Make sure you say your prayers and go through the praise break with the saints. If you're a Love Island stan, make sure you watch the reunion, but stay out of them people businesses. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Final thoughts. Love y'all. Good night. See y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
In the revival, Lord.